Most people believe they are human beings. We are not human beings, we are human habits. What do I mean by that? I'll explain that in a second. But the fact that we are human habits are good and bad at the same time. By end of this video, you'll be able to avoid stress and pressure from yourself, from your team drastically, and reduce the resistance to change in your life and in your business. When you are able to adapt to change, the new Darwinism in business and in life is survival of the fittest is not the new Darwinism. It's survival of the adaptive. The person who adapts the most is going to win. The company that is going to adapt the most is going to win. Why? Because change is happening, and change is happening so fast. Because change is happening so fast, the person who adapts to change fastest, business that adapt to the change fastest, are going to win this game. So why do we resist change? Why do we try to stick on to habit? Because we have fear of unknown. And the second reason is foolish consistency. What is fear of unknown? Known is like familiar to us. If you are Abraham Maslow, one of the greatest psychologists from US, has this famous quote, and this is the same guy who had created Maslow's hierarchy. He said, if you are really good at using a hammer, you think everything is a nail. And you look into the world looking for nails. Wherever you go, you look for nails. Hey, I see a nail here. I see a nail here. Why? Because you're really good at using a hammer. When you're really good at using a hammer, what does that mean? It means you have a habit of using a hammer. This is true for thinking as well. What does that mean? It means that if you have a habit of thinking a certain way, if you have a habit pattern of collectively thinking in a certain way, then that thinking itself will become a hammer, and then you're looking for the nails based on that thinking. This is called self-fulfilling prophecy. So manifestation works like this. And people say, oh, I used this trick to manifest. I couldn't manifest. Why? Because the thinking pattern is not manifest trick. Thinking pattern is designed to manifest hammer or nail, not a spade. Okay, not a pickaxe. Right? It is manifesting what? It is manifesting nails, because that's what the thinking pattern is. So that's why if you want to drastically change, one, you need to be aware of it. You need to become aware that we are human habits, and then figure out a way to overcome habit resistance. So what is habit resistance? Habit resistance, imagine that there is a satellite that you want to get to space. So you get the satellite on a rocket, and then you are pushing it away from Earth. We are pushing it away from Earth, and it takes a lot of resistance. The gravitational force is highest closer to the surface of the Earth. And as it goes further, it is getting lesser and lesser. But at the same time, once you get to that, like outside of that gravitational resistance, once you achieve that escape velocity, that is the word that we use for rockets, once you reach that speed that is higher than the gravitation force, then you become free. Then the satellite can stay there, okay, and it doesn't need to do any work. It's easy. It can stay there, and no matter what happens, it's going to stay there for the most part. Right? The same way for humans, us, in order for us to change anything, there is so much resistance. I'll tell you 5 ways that people resist in your team. Like, it's not just you. If you're trying to change a habit and try to make more money and try to create more wealth in your life, you are resisting this. Right? If you're trying to change something in the company, the team members are resisting this. How do they resist? What do they say? That's what we're going to share next. And then I'm going to tell you specific ways that you could handle change. Then I'm going to give you some ways to optimize your habits, like good habits to create super habits, and how you could reduce some habits that are pulling you backward and use them to use a strategy to optimize and reduce those habits so that you could live a more fulfilling life. Sounds good? Okay. So let's start with the resistance. People say, this is not how we do things. And when I talk about this, two hats on your head. One hat, me as a human. The other hat, me as a CEO who manages a team. So if you want to change yourself, if you want to change your team, it's the same principle because the resistance is the same. The first is, this is not how we do things. We use hammer all the time. I don't like pickaxe. I don't like machine guns. I don't like thing. I'm used to the hammer. This is what I know. Second is, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't know. I don't like it. They just say that. I don't like it. Why? I don't like vegetables. I don't like it. Why? We haven't experienced it. We haven't gotten used to it. I mean, if you are to given a crispy cream donut, which is a type of tasty donut in the US, versus broccoli, most people will like crispy cream donut. Why? Because externally, it's like more attractive. Broccoli could be much better for the long term. So I don't like broccoli because I'm being a short-term person. I don't want to change. I just want to stick with crispy cream donut and give me a diet plan that will help me to lose weight and become really healthy eating crispy cream donut. That's what I want. That's what most humans want, right? I don't like it. That's what people say. We need to help them overcome that. The third thing that people say is, I don't like change. I have been eating crispy cream donut for last 15 years. My gosh, I don't want to change. Why start broccoli now? This feels normal. This feels known. This feels natural. Oh my gosh, I feel good right after, for 2 minutes, and then I crash my energy. So I would rather stay on the crispy cream diet or donut diet, right? Or unhealthy diet. Why? Because that is what is known to me. Okay, so that's the third thing. I don't like change. Fourth thing is, if you're bringing a change to your team, a change manager, you go to your team, they tell you, I don't like you. I don't trust you. I don't like you. Why are you bringing me all these changes? Can I have a normal life where I start at 9 a.m. and do my stuff, take my lunch break, and then afternoon spend some time and finish my day? Can't I have that? Can't I have some predictability in life? That is the fourth thing. And the final thing is, I don't want to do it. This is what most people say anyway. I don't know. I don't want to do it. Why? Because they have all this resistance inside of them. So that's why you need to manage change more effectively when it comes to you or when it comes to, and I'm going to give you tips on exactly how to do that. But why do they do this? They do that because they don't trust themselves, if it's as an individual. As a CEO, for team members, they don't trust the CEO to make the change. Second is habit inertia. Habit inertia is every habit has its own inertia, because once the habit is formed, it becomes you. Pay attention to this one more time. Once the habit is formed, habit becomes you and you become the habit. Habit and you are kind of marrying. You're like, I become you, you become me. So habit is you. Like a person who is depressed has a habit of being depressed for 10 years. What do they call? What do they call themselves? They say, I am depressed. So I change my name. My name is Ruble. And I change my name. I am Ruble. I just replace my name with depression and I say, I am depressed. So it becomes my identity. Habit becomes our identity. If we consistently do it, it becomes you. So how do you minimize resistance to change from habits? One, slow changes. Like I said, this is true for your team too. Team doesn't want fast changes. They're like, I'm looking for really small changes. Give me small changes. I can do that. Second thing is measure and celebrate. When you make a progress by making a small change, measure it and tell them, hey, this is a benefit of this change. We were able to avoid this problem because this small change. It's a great job. Let's all celebrate. All of a sudden, that change becomes normal for them. That is a beautiful way to create change. Third thing is communicate early. Over-communicate early. So if it is a change, people are generally, especially because of the dynamics of our really fastness of our society. People don't want changes declared just like that. They want lead time. Tell them 3 months ahead and tell them, hey, we're going to make this change. Yeah, I just want to let you know. They'll be like, 3 months ago? 3 months ahead? Why are you letting me know this early? That's okay. We just wanted to communicate it clearly. And then a month before, you tell them, hey, by the way, remember, we were planning to change that thing. I just want to let you know it's a month from now. And then a week before, you could tell them too. So I'm not asking you to babysit them. I'm asking you to babysit the change itself. So when you're making the change, it feels natural for them. It's normal for them. It's not, their fear of unknown is not activated. So that's how you over communicate. Fourth thing is listen to fear. Listen to fear / employees. And when I say listen to fear, what I mean by that is, most people, if you look at life, will tell you, you should crush your fear. You should destroy that fear. You should confront your fear and do it anyway. Instead, what I'm asking you, instead of fighting your fear and confronting, the fascinating thing about fear is, the more you fight, the more powerful fear becomes. So instead of confronting and fighting, let's look at the fear and say, imagine that fear is a person. It has a voice. It has something to tell you. Ask the fear, hey, what do you want, pal? What do you want? What do you really want? What are you trying to tell me? And the fear says, ooh, it says stuff. It has a style of saying. And ask it, what's the intelligence? What is the intelligence that I could derive from it? So now, instead of using fear as an enemy, you look at the fear and appreciate the intelligence from it, and all of a sudden, your decision to change becomes more comprehensive. Okay? Same thing with your employees. Your employees, when you go and listen to them, they are expressing their fear too. Oh my gosh, I don't think I am capable of doing it. I don't think this technology changed, the ChatGPT, I don't think I get it. Can you please help me? I need training. Okay. Another person is like, oh, this makes me anxious. I have so much anxiety. This new software is killing me. Okay. Now we know what we could do to help them, support them as you are making the change. Make sense? So you listen to your fear and listen to your employees. That's the fourth point. And final point here is, change management is a sales job. If you want to change anything, you need to become a salesperson, in a sense that the change happens within you first. So if you want to learn to change, how could you change the world if you cannot change yourself, right? So you need to learn to sell yourself on change first. How do you sell yourself on change? The same 5 bullet points. Change it slow. Figure out a way to communicate early to you and take it slowly, and figure out a way to incorporate your fear into change as well. So at that point, change becomes natural for it. So this way, you could drastically elevate your income in your business and in your life. You could drastically improve your skill set so that you could be more fulfilled. So let me conclude with 2 final points. Point number 1 here is, if you have a good habit, I call them a blessing habit. If you have a blessing habit that helps you move forward, you can stack them. What do I mean by stacking? Stacking means that, imagine you have a habit of meditating. And if you have a habit of meditating every day for 5 minutes, then add 5 minutes of workout with it. If you have a habit of working out for 5 to 30 minutes, add 5 minutes of meditation to it. And you're like, I don't have neither of them. In that case, if you have a habit of brushing your teeth, which I think you have, then that's a good habit. It's helping you, right? Brushing your teeth is helping you. So imagine you brush your teeth for your teeth, like for your body, right? Specifically for your teeth, right? So if you brush your teeth daily to keep it clean, add 5 minutes of brushing your mind as a habit, which is meditation. 5 minutes. So 5 minutes or 2 minutes, you brush your teeth, and then 5 minutes you brush your mind. Right? What a beautiful idea. Right? Now you are creating a cluster of habit. The cluster habit is called a super habit. Super habit will take you further. And once you add this after some time, like adding the brushing your teeth and brushing your mind, You brush your body. How do you brush your body? By doing a simple exercise, even for 5 minutes, just for 5 minutes. So you have 5 minutes of brushing, probably 2 minutes of brushing, 2 or 3, and then 5 minutes of meditation, and then 5 minutes of physical exercise. Between all these 3, you have a cluster habit. And how do we make sure that that doesn't stay there? We improve that every week. We improve our habit by 1%. We'll add something. Maybe we'll add the 5-minute exercise, we change it to 6 minutes. What a fascinating change, right? Or the 5-minute meditation, we might change it to 6 minutes. Beautiful. Now the cluster of habit, the super blessing habit, it's elevating you to the next level. Same thing with curse habits. If you have a cluster habit, curse habit that is limiting you from moving forward, what you do is you take one of those small pieces and reduce it. Makes sense? Instead of stopping to drink altogether, if you drink a lot, like reduce a little bit, so that it's helping you. And then all of a sudden, you could take another habit out, another habit out, another habit out, and then eventually you become a super habit which consistently improves itself every week, every month. That's when you become a human being separate from your human habit. Because if you are improving your habit every day, you might have heard this quote from a philosopher. It says, you cannot step into a river twice. Why you cannot step into a river twice? By the time you step the second time, the river is gone. The second time, there's no river. It's a new river because the river is gone, right? The same way, you could become a human being because one habit is not going to define you. Habit is not going to define you. Why? Because every week you are becoming a new habit. Now you are being a human being. So if you have any questions about anything that I shared, put a comment below. I'll be happy to answer them for you. Until I see you in the next video, have an amazing time. Talk to you later.